Hi class, this is a short lesson on adding integers, and I'm going to show you how I first learned to add integers and how I like to think of integers, and hopefully it will help you to add integers better, and you'll be able to use it in this task that you have to do. Let's look at these three problems right here that I have. Let me get my pen here. And we'll start with this first one that I have written out, 2 plus 3. Now I know this looks like something you've seen in elementary school, and you probably already know that what the answer is. But I wanted to start with that because I want to show you how I learned to do it, and we'll show you a problem that you should be able to get the answer to, and how I think of it. Let me just start off by saying that this first number is your starting point where you're going to start on the number line. So what I want you to do is read all of these sentences as sentences. This means something, the operation means something, the sign on here means something, and then whatever this numeral is right here means something, the 3. So let's start with the 2, so that means to start on the number line using a 2. Now here's how I think of it. I think of this as reading an addition problem. The plus, think of it almost like a T, and that will help you remember the word towards. This means start at 2, go towards, this is the positive 3, so go in the positive direction. Whatever sign is on this, positive or negative, either tells you to go towards whatever direction. So this is the positive direction, so the positive direction is to the right always, and go 3 spaces. So go to the right, 1, 2, 3 spaces, and you of course end on 5. I'll say that again. Start at 2, plus means go towards. Where are we going towards? The positive direction, because this is a positive 3, and 3 tells me how many spaces to go. End on 5. Alright, let's erase this and try another one. This time, we're going to start on negative 5. Negative 5. Same thing as the other one this time, though. We're going to go towards the positive direction, which is to the right, 2 spaces. 5, 4, 3. We land on negative 3. Now, this is one of the problems that I used to show you how this is what I call a lot of times a bizarro world. Bizarro world is everything that's backwards. And if you look at this, what you've been taught since you were in kindergarten, pre-K, first grade, is that 0 means you have nothing. And if you'll look at how this number line is set up, you all know it looks like this and it never changes. But you all know you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've known that for a long time. And you get larger as you go to the right. Even if you start on 5 and you go up to negative 3, everything is backwards. Everything is bizarro world over here in the negative area. So this starts at negative 5. It actually gets larger, but negative 3 is what it lands on. 3 is not larger than 5, but negative 3 is larger than negative 5. And because you're going to the right, in the negative side, if you will look, you end up counting backwards. You're getting larger, but you're counting backwards. I want you to think about that as you work these problems. As you go to the right on the negative side, you're getting larger as you go to the right wherever you are. But on the negative side, you're actually counting backwards. And that's what makes this go from negative 5, you add 2, and you end up on negative 3. Also think of it as if you owed somebody $5 and you paid them, you gave them positive 2, so now you only owe them $3. Another way to look at it. And the last problem here. Let's look at this before we finish here. Start at negative 1. Closed circle. Now this is a little different, so let's pay attention to what I said on these two. Let's go back to what I said on these two. Plus means to go towards, but which way are we going towards? What direction? We're going in the negative direction. So that means go to the left. Start at -1, go towards the negative direction, 2 spaces. You'll notice you count up, but you're adding more negative, so you actually get smaller, but you count up. So you go from 1 and put 2 more on it, and you get -3 in this case. Notice in this case, both these cases you added, you got -3. This one you started lower, but you added positive to it, so you ended up at a higher negative. Alright? Even though what we call the absolute value of this is 3, you started on 5 and got a 3. You have to pay attention to the signs. And that's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to get confused, but I want you to look at these 3, watch this video as many times as you need, and ask questions about it, and see if this doesn't help you read a sentence and be able to add and subtract it. We'll get to subtraction later, of course. So let's look at this one more time. I'll say these one more time. This means 2, go in the positive direction, 3 spaces. So if you start at 2 and go in the positive direction, 3 spaces, you land on 5. This is -5. Go toward the positive direction, 2 spaces. Remember, you count backwards, so you land on -3. Okay. So we'll look at rules for these later. I just want you to be able to do them, and we'll look at what the rules say later, but I just want you to be able to do it on the number line. And then last but not least, you start at -1. You go towards the negative direction, which means you're adding on more negative, 2 spaces. You get -3. Hope this helps you. Ask me if you have any questions. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.